Metalcloak goes over the stock skid plate. Rusty's replaces the stock skid plate. So we're gonna have to drop this whole entire tank down and get the stock skid plate removed from the tank. You can do Rusty's in pieces. It's like Legos, it builds onto itself. You know, if you can gain a lot of clearance and it's easier to buy, but it's crazy heavy, maybe it's not worth it to you. I don't know. Those are things you have to decide. We're just gonna give you the information so you can make your own decision. So we're gonna grab these and we're gonna weigh all of the Metalcloak first, and then we're gonna weigh all of the Rusty's, and then we're gonna tally them all up. The Rusty's, like I said, does have the exhaust skid. We took all of the hardware for everything and put them in a box for each brand. So we're gonna have weights of the engine skids, TK skid, gas tank skid, and hardware. So then we can actually break it down and see what their weights are, and if it even really matters, because I don't know, let's find out. So, first, we've got the Metalcloak engine skid. Survey says we're at 30 pounds, roughly 8 to 10 ounces. All right. Now we're gonna have the Metalcloak transmission skid. We are at roughly 40 pounds. We're gonna call about 10 ounces. 39 pounds, 10 ounces. 39 pounds, 10 ounces on the T-case. Gas tank's gonna suck. So, for the Metalcloak, we have to weigh the factory gas tank skid and the actual Metalcloak gas tank skid, because you keep both of those with their system. For the Rusty's, you don't. Weight difference? Let's find out. Stand it right up on end, son. Here. Let's ditch the extra dirt. Because... All right. This is 47 pounds. We got about 7 ounces. 48 pounds, 10 ounces. Here, pick that up, head right over the garage door, son. Let's pick this up and smack it to knock some of this dirt off. All right, as good as that's gonna get. This is 0.8. So 63 pounds, 8 ounces. 63, 8 ounces. Go to the garage door with that, son. Yeah, don't fall. Now, brush this off, make sure our stuff is still zeroed. Now, Metalcloak hardware. Now this is the hardware for all of the Metalcloak system. This is the engine stuff, T-case, everything you need. Hardware comes in at 7 pounds, 3.5 ounce. So 7 pounds, 4 ounces, we're gonna call that. Here, sit that over there, son. Okay, so we'll tally that up, and then let's see what we got here with the Rusty's components. So we're gonna start the same thing. The engine skid for Rusty's comes in at 24.25, well, we're gonna call that 25 even. 25 even. Now, for the T-case, we have to do this and we have to do the cross member. So, T-case, give me that cross member. We're just gonna lean it right here. 46.7. So 46.7 for both T-case components. 46.7. Now let's do the gas tank. It's a lot heavier, ain't it? But the other one had 2 pieces. Curious how the difference is gonna be. So Rusty's gas tank skid, 80.2, 80 pounds, 2 ounces. UPS guys will love that one. Now, one component that the Metalcloak didn't have is the exhaust skid. Comes in at 16.12. 1612, Rusty's all of their hardware in one box. Comes in at 13 pounds, 14 ounces. So, now I'm gonna grab my phone, I'm gonna tally those all up, and I'll throw some figures on the screen for you so we know gross weight, what the total difference is. I never usually have notes and I don't read off anything. I always wing all of this. Every time we do a video, I wing it, but I got notes. So, we came up with roughly 183 pounds for Rusty's off-road skid system. That being said, the Metalcloak comes in at 189, only a 7-pound difference. Do we really care about 7 pounds? Probably not. I mean, do you really care? 7 pounds is nothing in the grand scheme of building a Jeep. That being said, if you didn't run the exhaust skid plate, you could subtract almost another 17 pounds. Have we gained anything by changing from one system to the other yet? Really? Nothing hugely major. Gained a little bit of extra protection from the Rusty's with the exhaust skid. Maybe his might hold up a little better around the engine exhaust area. Might not. That we'll have to find out as time goes on. So I think the other big thing that we're all really hoping for is that since we're not running the factory gas tank skid, maybe we gain a bunch of clearance. I don't know if we're going to, but I'm really hoping that's going to be the big glaring difference between these 2 systems. So you already saw the numbers. They were on the screen. Let's put this. Rusty skids. As you know, when we were taking off the Metalcloak, we measured to see how much clearance we had. We had about 16 inches. So with the Rusty's off-road system, being that you ditched the factory skid tank, we are now at 17, a little over 17 inches. So we gained over a full inch of clearance underneath this vehicle. Inch of clearance is a lot, you know, I mean, there's a lot of professional rock crawlers out there that spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to gain an extra inch. All right, so now that we got the install done, I'll give you my final thoughts on this. So the Metalcloak, good product, did its job, saved a lot of damage from taking place on other components. The Rusty's gives a lot more clearance. If you didn't run the exhaust skid plate, you would lose quite a bit of weight, almost 30 pounds. So that's a big plus. The install for both systems is almost identical, except for the Rusty's, you do have to drop the gas tank to take off the factory skid. So that takes a little bit more work, but it was really actually pretty darn easy, especially if you run it down to like quarter tank or less of gas, it'd be really easy to do. The extra inch clearance gain in the Rusty's kit is extremely worth it in my opinion, because that is just such a huge thing. An inch is huge when it comes to lift kits, suspension, low hanging components, all that stuff. An inch is a lot. Honestly, like the Rusty's is cheaper. I think the engine skid plate will hold up better long term. I like the way that he designed everything around the exhaust components. Hopefully we won't run into issues like we did with the Metalcloak system with the Rusty's. So I think that'll be a little better. Overall, I really just love the fit and finish of this Rusty's kit. I don't think you can go wrong with either, but between all the pros that Rusty has going for him and the fact that they're a lot easier to touch up the finish on because it's not zinc plated, I think it's just a pretty sweet kit. But if you go to Metalcloak, you won't be disappointed. Still a good kit. A little easier to install if you're trying to do it in your driveway because you don't have to mess with the gas tank. But if you don't mind that part, I think the Rusty's is probably the better bang for the buck. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. We have a lot of content coming. See you guys.